two. You didn't stay there long enough. Good boy. Yes, you good boy. Yes, you are. Oh, you're such a good boy. Yes. There. Look at your beautiful face. Yes. Oh, so beautiful. Good boy. Do I get kisses? Oh, thank you. I love you. I love you, little one. Welcome, everyone, to 100. That's right. I'm filming an extra episode this week of 1 to 100. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, I haven't decided which deck I want to do for Super Deck Sunday. Otherwise, I would have filmed that instead. But also, two, I want to put out a poll for you guys to vote in, and I need to do it before I start doing the Kaiba Photo of the Month contest coming up next week, in the near future. It'll start on the 23rd, and I think we're on like the 18th or 19th today, so it'll be soon that we'll be starting that up again. But I wanted to get a poll out there for the people who are actually watching this series, because especially the person who was really interested in the deck that we're currently building, because I want to know ultimately what you think about something that I'm planning to discuss today. So first off, yes, you're a good puppy. I know you're a very good puppy. You're going to sit there while I do this. You're a good boy. So good. First off, you will notice that there is a daily pack this week, which it's actually the same week that I filmed both of these. This week I did some trading. If you were here for the last episode, you heard that I was a little disappointed because I realized I didn't have as many rooms as I thought I did, and I said that I was going to try and get my hands on a few more of them by trading some cards. So I ended up trading decently valuable card. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was worth between 20 and 25 American. And I got several rooms. I also got a card for the Avatar deck that I'm building that I did not pull when I was doing the Avatar set pulls. And then finally, because the person felt that it was still kind of an unfair trade and I just didn't really see anything else in their collection I was particularly interested in right this moment, they bought me a pack of Duskmourn to toss in to sweeten the deal, kind of thing. Because they really wanted the card that I was willing to trade, and they had I think I got 4 new rooms, if I remember correctly. Maybe I even got 5. So, you'll notice there are 3 piles of cards here in this box, so let's get those out and discuss those first before we get too far into this. So, you got that one, you've got this one, and then we've got the smallest pile. So, the reason why I have these piles... Oops, Marina, you're falling down. The reason why I've put these piles together is because this is my entire collection currently not being used of cards in the Duskmourn set. I did have some other Duskmourn cards, but they're already in different decks, and I've decided I'm not pulling them out of their decks to do this. But I'm kind of interested in doing a set deck. I've never actually built an entire one set deck before, and so it kind of feels like that could be a fun thing to do. So these are all the instant sorceries, enchantments, and artifacts that I'm not currently using in any other deck that came from Duskmourn, and these are all the creatures. These are all one-ofs. I don't have any duplicates in these piles. So there are a lot of creatures, obviously, that I can pick from. Not as many instant sorceries and the like of the other. The reason why I'm tempted to not do this is because the one thing that I was really interested in doing with this deck when I originally started building it is I wanted to focus a lot on trying to trigger Marina's ability multiple times in a turn. So just to review, because this is only the second episode of this version of 1 to 100, or this chapter, round, whatever you want to call it, this deck in 1 to 100. Marina Ventral is Wooburg for 3/5, and her main ability, ignoring the Enter's ability because that's a cool ability for sure, but that's not the one I'm most interested in. Her main ability is that if you tap her, you can lock or unlock a door of a target room you control. You can only do it at sorcery speed, so you can't do it on your opponent's turn, which kind of sucks. But you can do it multiple times on your turn if you have a way to untap her and tap her again. And so the one thing that this set does not have is cards that will allow me to do that. I do have several creatures in my collection from other sets that I can include into this deck that will allow me to do that. You've seen some of them in my mono blue deck, because a lot of them end up being blue for whatever reason, but that is kind of where I'm at. I'm leaning towards either making a full set deck where it's only Duskmourn cards, and that'll make it really unique for me because, like I say, I've never built a deck specifically in one set only. The second option is to say scrap it and do whatever we want, and therefore I will include all the tapping and untappable cards, which is a feasible option as well. So, what I'm wondering is which way you guys want to see me do this deck, and so that's the poll that I'm planning to put up for you guys. So, that being said, I'm not going to get into those two piles today because I don't want this video to be too long. I don't know how much time I have to work with. 1, 2, I don't have a ton of space on my phone. And 3, until we crack this pack, I don't know what other cards are in these piles, going in these piles, so there might be some extra stuff added in there for the next video. But what I do know is that I have not done the lands yet, and we're going to do the land base after the fact. Sorry, 1 second. I gotta... Oh, are you doing it yourself? Okay. Kaiba is getting down. And going to the bathroom to lay down on the cool tile floor in there. Good puppy. So while he does that, I will just set up the camera specifically for doing this then now, so that we are not trying to capture both the pug and that. And we're just going to go through these cards super quick. Whoa, that's really zoomed in. But it's a little more focused, so... Okay, here we go. So, like I say, we've got Marina Ventral. She's going to be our commander. She's our in the 1 to 100. And, the other thing she does is when she enters, you reveal the top 7 cards of your library, put all the enchantments into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Every room is an enchantment, so that's why she does that. And, yeah. So, we have now... I'm just going to do a quick count off screen so you can't see the new ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 rooms in total. So there are 19 rooms in this pile, plus this pile contains all the cards that can actually do stuff with rooms. Either if a room comes in or is unlocked, it triggers some ability on the card, or the card actually lets me do something to help unlock or unlock rooms. So we're going to do the rooms first, and then we will cover the other cards afterwards. So we did a lot of these rooms before, but we're just going to go through them quickly, and I will point out the new rooms as we go. As I say, I believe there are 5 new rooms, because we only had 14 last time, and there's 19 now, so that makes sense. This one we've seen before, Dazzling Theater Prop Room. It's a pretty good one. It lets me have all my creature spells have Convoke, so I can use them to tap and make things cheaper. And I can untap each creature I control during each other player's untap step, which is nice because then I have my entire army available to defend me if I happen to decide to swing with them or use them as tap abilities for other things. So, Next up, we have the Grand Entryway and Elegant Rotunda. This one we had before too. Unlock this door, you get a white glimmer creature, or you get to put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. This is one that I'm going to want to unlock and lock repeatedly, so that's why this one's really nice with Marina. Next is one of the new ones, I believe. Yes, Surgical Suite and Hospital Room is one of the new ones I just acquired. When it comes into play, I get a creature with mana value 3 or less from my graveyard to the battlefield, which is nice. And then the other one lets me put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature whenever I attack. So, again, the best thing to do with Marina in this deck would be to pay for the cheaper cost spell, which is the Surgical Suite. Get it on the field, then tap Marina to trigger the other one, and then I can do it all the time, which is nice. Bottomless Pit and Locker Room we've seen before. When you unlock this door, you get to return up to 1 creature to your hand, and whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage, you get to draw a card. Pretty decent. Since that says to a player, you can actually get 3 cards potentially if you hit all different players, which is not too bad. Meat Locker and Drowned Diner. When you unlock the first one, you get to tap a creature and put 2 stun counters on it, and when you unlock the second one, you draw 3 cards and discard. Central Elevator and Promising Stairs. This is the one that has our win con on it. So the main goal of our deck is to get to this enchantment and then pay to get the Promising Stairs unlocked, because Promising Stairs says at the beginning of my upkeep, I get to surveil one, and then I win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of rooms I control. So, keeping in mind that each card has 2 rooms technically on it, if I can get 4 cards on the field and unlock all of the rooms on those cards, this being one of them, I will win the game on my next turn, which is pretty cool. The other side, of course, when you unlock the door, you search your library for a room that doesn't have the same name as one you already control, reveal it and put into your hand and shuffle. It kind of sucks that that one is on the same card as this one, because you can't obviously use this one to search for your own win con, but otherwise, not bad. Underwater Tunnel, Slimy Aquarium. This one I'm not a huge fan of, but we want to include as many rooms of course as possible in this deck, because that's the theme. So when you unlock this, you surveil 2, and the other one, when you unlock it, you manifest Dread and then put a +1/+1 counter. I'm probably only going to get this onto the field, unlock it once each, and then leave it, because it's not overly useful. This is another one of the new ones, and it's a really cool one. So, Mirror Room. When you unlock this door, you create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control, except it's a reflection in addition to its other creature types. Unfortunately, it doesn't lose legendary, so you can't copy Marina with this, but you could copy any of the other things that might help Marina, which is nice. And then, if a triggered ability of a permanent you control triggers, the ability triggers an additional time. So Marina, when I tap her, will be able to unlock or lock 2 doors. Or maybe even a mix of 1 of each. I'm not 100% sure on that part, though, but that is pretty cool. I like this one a lot. So that was a good one to get my hands on. Next up, we have Funeral Room and Awakening Hall. This one I'm pretty sure I had before. Maybe not. This might be one of the new ones, actually. Yes, it is. Pardon me. Funeral Home, whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. This is one of the new ones. And then the other one, when you unlock it, you return all creature cards from your graveyard to your battlefield. It's insanely good. Cadaver Lab. Just making sure I didn't skip one. And Defile Crypt. This is another new one. When this one, the first side gets unlocked, whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, you get to make a horror enchantment creature. It only happens once per turn, but I mean, there are things that are going to get stuff out of my graveyard, obviously. And then the other side, whenever you unlock this door, you return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So the idea is unlock the left side and leave it unlocked, and then keep locking and unlocking the right side to trigger the left side. Pretty nice. This is one we had before, Holy Annex and Ritual Chamber. This is probably my favorite one in terms of art, though. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, and each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life, otherwise you lose 2, and whenever you unlock this door, you create a 6/6 black demon creature token with flying. Unfortunately, this only makes horrors over here, it doesn't make demons, but it would have been cool if it made demons to help me out. Because there's not a lot of demons in this set that at least are amazingly good, outside of a deck that would focus mostly around demons, so, eh.
Derelict Addict and Widow's Walk. We saw this one before too. When you unlock it, you get to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life, and the other side, whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+0 and Death Touch. I love that second side. And then there's just one more new one, so I'm just going to get through these really quick. This one's actually kind of nice. I like this one. Not the first side because of the exiling thing, but the second one, whenever you attack, attacking creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. It buffs all your creatures, which is nice, instead of just one. I think that's kind of cool. Glassworks and Shattered Yard, another one that we've seen before, deals 4 damage to an opponent, and at the beginning of your end step, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I really like the second side, of course. And finally, Ticket Booth and Tunnel of Hate. This is the last red one I have. Mono red one, I mean. When you unlock this door, manifest Dread, and the other side, whenever you attack, target attacking creature gets double strike. So in theory, if you have this one and the other one that gave Death Touch out, you could give the same creature Death Touch and double strike. I mentioned this in the last video, but I'm just mentioning it again. It is a really good combo. Moldering Gym and Weight Room. When you unlock the first door, you search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield. Other side, you get to manifest Dread and put 3 counters on that creature. I'm not a huge fan of the other side, but I like the Moldering Gym. I would repeatedly unlock that one probably. Greenhouse is amazing because all my lands have tap for 1 mana of any color. The Gazebo is less so. When you unlock it, you mill 4 cards and return up to 2 permanent cards from among them to your hand. The downside being that they have to get milled in order to be returned. So I don't like that other side as much, but the first side is insanely good for this deck, since it's 5 color. Smoky Lounge and Misty Saloon. This one we've seen before. At the beginning of your first main phase, you get to add 2 red, but you can only use it on rooms and unlocking doors, which is fine. I'm going to be doing that a lot anyways in this. And whenever you unlock the blue door, you get to make an XX blue spirit creature token with flying, where X is the number of unlocked doors among the rooms you currently control. So if you can lock and unlock this one repeatedly, you can keep making really massive spirits with flying, which is pretty good. And this is the last new one that I got. It is Restricted Office and Lecture Hall. Probably not the best one among the ones that I've gotten, but I still like it. Lecture Hall in particular is nice because it gives all my other permanents hexproof, so it won't affect this card, obviously, but it'll keep Marina hexproof and a bunch of other stuff, which is nice. And then the other side, if I need a board wipe, it is available to me, so that's kind of cool too. Marina is power 3, so that is unfortunate that it is going to hit her with this, obviously, but there are ways to get her back from the graveyard too, so it's not the end of the world. But like I say, we now own 19 rooms, and I'm not going to try and trade for any more. I think 19 out of... Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to mention. In the last video, I mentioned that there were 30, but when I went back and reviewed to see which ones I wanted to trade for, I realized that 2 of the 30 are actually arena cards, not physical cards. So I can't obviously count them as rooms that I could possibly put into this deck. Which means I actually have 19 out of 28, and I think that's a pretty solid amount. So between these 19 and Marina, we have the first 20 cards covered in this deck. These, I haven't decided how many of them I'm going to actually include yet or not. And I'm not going to do that today. I just want to quickly go through them, and then I'm going to open that pack for you guys, because I want to get this done in less than a half hour if possible. So, I'm going to zoom out for this, though, because this is getting a little carried away with how close, or how far I have to keep pulling this away. Keys to the House, 1. Pay 1, tap, sacrifice it, search for your library for basic land. That is okay. The big thing is you can pay 3 and tap this, sacrifice it, and lock or unlock a room. You can only do it at sorcery speed, so again, you can only do it on your turn, but this is a card that lets me affect rooms, so that's why it's in here. Gremlin Tamer, white and blue for 2/2. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, or whenever you fully unlock a room, you get to create a 1/1 red gremlin creature token. So basically the idea is whenever you put the room first onto the battlefield, you will get to get a gremlin, and whenever you open the other half of that card, you will also get a gremlin. So this thing's going to make a lot of gremlins, and this one's probably definitely going to go in my deck. That one's almost a for sure. The keys is a 50-50 right now. Blue and red for 2/2 with Vigilance. Tap this, sacrifice a room, and this thing deals 2 damage to each opponent. Then you get to draw a card. I'm very much on the fence about that one too. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put this here because I know it's going in. These two are on the fence. I might as well just do this with you guys because I'm going to have to do it later anyways. 3 in a red for 2/3. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and when you fully unlock a room, this thing gets +2/+0 until end of turn, so it can get beefed up pretty big. And when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. I mean, if you actually attack an opponent and they kill it, you can basically deal its power directly to their face. I kind of like that. I'm putting it in the maybe pile, though, because it's not as valuable for sure as this one. This one's definitely going in because of its eerie ability. Rampaging Soul Rager gets +3/+0 as long as there are 2 or more unlocked doors among rooms you control. Otherwise, it's just a 1/4. It's in the maybe. Actually, you know what? I'm going to lean towards more putting this in. I'm going to put that one in. I think it's fun to deal damage to people's face sometimes. I like these eerie ones. I think they're my favorites. 1 in a black for the Bale Merc Leech. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, each opponent loses a life. That's definitely going in. 1 in a blue for a 3/3 with Defender. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, this thing can attack as though it doesn't have Defender. I really hate cards that have this ability, to be honest, because it's like, hey, I'm giving you something that has Defender, but if you want to not have Defender, you can get rid of it. Now, granted, there are a few walls that I used in my deck that have that, but that was kind of different because I thought it was funny that a wall that isn't supposed to move could do that, whereas this is definitely just a human that, you know, could totally move and do stuff if he wanted to, but he's lazy, unless you have something, so I'm going to say no to that one right away. Scrabbling Skullcrab. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and when you fully unlock a room, target player mills to... That's definitely going in. See, these are the kinds of things that can definitely go in this deck and make it more fun to play. Ghostly Keybearer, 3 in a blue, flying. Whenever this thing deals combat damage to a player, unlock a locked door of up to 1 target room you control. That's definitely going in. That'll help a lot with the issues that we have, trying to get the door thing going. 2 in a blue, Flying Vigilance. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, this thing gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the maybe pop. Creeping Keeper, 1 in a blue, taps to add blue, but you can only use it to cast an enchantment or unlock a door? Yeah, I don't see an issue with that. Or turn a permanent face up, which we are going to be manifesting Dreadsum in this, so that's not bad. I'm going to put it as a maybe, actually, not a for sure, because there might be better stuff in the set, or if we decide that we're going to go outside the set. And finally, Cult Healer. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, this thing gains lifelink until end of turn. That's a decent enough ability, but it doesn't have any sort of evasion or anything that's going to make sure that it stays on the field, so it's going in the maybe pile too. So we are going to add an extra 5 cards for sure in, which means we are up to a total of 25 so far. We've disqualified 1 card, and we have a few maybes. These are all creatures, so they can, except for 1 artifact. So the artifact can go in with the other pile of artifacts and stuff over here. And I actually have to sort through that because some of those are artifact creatures, so they need to go into the creature pile. And these can go right in with the creatures. And let's rip open that Duskmourn pack and see what we got. Maybe we get lucky and that guy bought us an extra room or something. Cool. Something that I don't currently have in my piles that I can add into this deck and make it extra fun or spicy. Copy. Ooh, nice. Nothing on the back, so that means I definitely can use this as a copy token. I like that one. That's a cute one. I do need more copy tokens. I'm just trying to decide if I have to do the pack trick. I think I do. I think I definitely do. So, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4? Maybe 4, 5. Oh, okay, I know what I gotta do. Okay, we gotta do this, 3, and then we gotta do 6. Is it maybe 7? It might be 7. It was 7. Okay. Here we go. We got Creeping Peeper. So we don't need that because we already got one of those, so I'll put that over there. Frantic Strength. It is a good card, but I already had one of those in this pile, so we can go over there. Final Vengeance. As initial cost is sacrifice a creature or an enchantment, exile target creature. I think I already had one of those, but I'm not sure, so I'll hang on to it for now. It can go into the pile of the instants and sorceries and stuff, and if it is one that I already had, I can always take out the duplicate later. Erratic Apparition, we just saw that one, so we don't need to put it. Unsettling Twins, I definitely have one of those already. Hand that feeds. Whenever this thing attacks, while there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, it gets +2/+0. Yeah, I have one of those. Okay. Seized from Slumber. Costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature, destroy target creature. I don't think I have that one. That might be the first one I pulled in this pack that I didn't have. Ooh! I already have an Arabella, or Arabella, but it might be fun to have an extra one. Whenever she attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. There's going to be some creatures with power 2 or less in this deck. It's an interesting option. I'm going to keep it for the possibility. Heck yes. I'm going to put this in with the instants right now, because I'm pretty sure I didn't have one of those. Haunted Screen, 3. Taps to add white or black. Pay 1 life and tap it to add green, blue, or red. Ooh. Pay 7, put 7+1+ encounters on Haunted Screen, and it becomes a 0/0 spirit creature token in addition to its other types. But you can only do that one time. That's still really cool. I like this a lot. That is a really neat artifact, and definitely one to consider putting into the deck if we decide to keep it a set deck. I definitely didn't have one of those. Violent Urge, I didn't have one of these before either. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. If there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, you get double strike. Nice. Don't think I had that one actually. Vile Mutilator, I might have had this one. Sacrifice a creature or enchantment, flying, trample. When this thing enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token enchantment, then sacrifices... Okay, I do have one of these, but it's in another deck, so awesome pull. Awesome pull for this deck. Turn inside out. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. When it dies this turn, manifest dread. I'm pretty sure I already have one of these. So, and it was at the beginning of the instance pile when we started this video. Our land for this pack is an island. Can't go wrong there. The only thing I might not be able to do is actually do all the lands in this set as a set deck. I might have to pull some lands from other sets, because I don't think I have enough Duskmourn lands. But I'll look into that later. But, yeah. Please remember to go check out the polls, and let me know which way you prefer. Whether you think we should do this as a set deck, or a deck that's going to function more on trying to make Marina work the way she's supposed to. Because I'm leaning towards a set deck. Ooh! Oh, that is a hit, guys. That is a huge hit. Winter Misanthropic Guide. 1 black, red, and green. Ward 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws 2 cards. As long as there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, each opponent's maximum hand size is equal to 7 minus the number of those card types. That is cool! That is going to be a really fun deck to build at some point. That is not going in this deck, probably. To be perfectly honest. But that is really, really cool. I like that a lot. Definitely a hit of this pack. And the last card in this pack. Okay. Definitely a cool way to end this video. Alright. With that said, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the second episode of 1 to 100! Where we're doing Marina's House of 1,000 Rooms. Sort of. Much love to you all from Kaiba the Pug, who's taking a nap, and myself to you. Oh, sorry, Marina. Take care. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you'll tune in for the next one. Love you all. Bye.